Welcome to the Allstate Identity Protection Info session. My name is Natalie Ingham, and I am on the Pinellas Benefits team. We also have Kelly Faircloth, our Benefits Officer, and Katie Waldell from Allstate Identity Protection. And just a reminder, if you have any questions, please put it in the Q&A feature. Katie, you can go ahead.
All right. Good morning. Thank you so much, Natalie. I really appreciate it. And good morning to all the Pinellas employees. As Natalie said, we do have questions or Q&A to ask questions throughout the presentation. And I would highly recommend putting in those questions as we go so that you don't wait until the very end to try to remember what your question was, because there are a lot of slides, but I'm more than happy when we get to the end of the presentation to go back and answer any of your questions this morning. So good morning again, and welcome to the Allstate Identity Protection webinar for Pinellas County. Again, my name is Katie Waddell, and I am your account manager here at Allstate Identity Protection. For today's agenda, we're going to start by diving into the current identity theft kind of climate, and then we're going to talk about Allstate Identity Protection as a company. We're then going to take a deeper dive into your coverage, and this includes kind of what the portal looks like, how to get logged in, and where to find some of the key features. So let's get started. Now, as everybody knows, these days, sharing data is something that we do every single second at a minimum on a daily basis. Whether it's at work or in personal relationships, we're sharing more and more data every single day, and we're constantly finding new and different ways to do this. Unfortunately, with convenience comes risk. We rely on apps and the internet to shop, to educate our children, to work, to stay connected to our families. And every single purchase, your web searches, your locations, your IP addresses, your favorite applications, where you bank, your likes, your dislikes, all of these digital traces of ourselves are being left online without much thought on how we are putting our identities and privacy at risk. We have honestly come to trust more and more companies to store our personal and our financial information, but sometimes a hack or a breach, it can occur, and it can be something small at these companies, but it can leave openings and create enormous opportunities for identity thieves. I don't know if you guys know this, but every 60 seconds, online activity includes up to 16 million text messages sent. Over $400,000 spent shopping with Amazon, 66,000 photos shared on Instagram, over 1 million swipes on dating apps like Tinder, over 340,000 tweets are shared, over 500 hours of content is uploaded to YouTube, and over 230 million emails are sent. And just to really hit this home, that is just in the last 60 seconds that we've been talking, all of that is happening. Many people think that a simple spam filter will keep them protected, when in fact 82% of data breaches had to involve human interaction. So we really can't leave it all to spam filters not working to blame. Now, the underground internet, also called the deep web, or you may have heard the term the dark web, is the black market of the internet. This is where cyber criminals store and sell your personal information. I don't know about you guys, but when I found this out, I was absolutely flabbergasted. Did you know your social security number could be up for grabs on the dark web for just $2? You could find that change in the couch cushions. Honestly, I found out that $15 will buy your personal credit card information. PayPal accounts go for as little as $17, and even an entire social media account can be purchased for $25. As I mentioned before, every single person on this call in the world has financial and social data in the digital space in some way, and a data breach exposing any parts of that information could keep you from thriving. In 2022, $43 billion were lost to fraud. That's a lot of money. But it's not exclusive to individuals. Now, families are facing growing risks as they spend more time online than really ever before. Every single thing is online. Like I said, we're educating, we're shopping, we're connecting with our families. And they are experiencing more fraud incidents, greater losses, and unfortunately longer remediation times as a family. Children and seniors remain the main targets for fraud as well. $1 billion were lost to families with children alone, and that was just the reported amounts that we saw. So I want to talk a little bit about what is and is not considered identity theft, because a lot of people do get that confused. Instances like financial accounts and credit cards being opened in your name, or when someone uses your social security number to file for government services or maybe get medical care, these are considered identity theft. Instances like fraudulent credit or debit card transactions, hacked emails, and like phone scams, those are not considered identity theft, but we do have such a robust plan. There are features that help and remediate that if something were to happen. As I said, data breaches are significant and they remain a significant culprit year after year. So just last year in 2022, again, data breaches impacted over 422 million people. So this problem really isn't going away anytime soon. So I want to talk a little bit about Allstate Identity Protection, or AIP. You'll hear me reference it because Allstate Identity Protection is a mouthful. But AIP is the chosen identity protection provider by your employer, and we focus on providing identity protection as a benefit, and we always keep you guys at the top of our minds. We were founded in 2008, and we are an industry leader in the employee identity protection space. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and we are very proud of our best-in-class customer care. We also have the broadest definition of family in the industry with an under roof, under wallet approach. And that also includes seniors over 65, so your parents, grandparents, and in-laws, regardless of where they live or their financial dependency, can also be included in your family. You might be wondering or curious, why can I trust Allstate Identity Protection with my information? Which is a very fair question. Digital security is constantly changing, so we are evolving our approach with the responsive protection systems that blend proven measures with our cutting edge technology. So we are SOC 1 and SOC 2 Type 2 accredited. This means that we are held to the same security standards that your financial institutions are. We also have a perfect track record with 0 security incidents and a 99.99% site uptime. Additionally, we do require two-factor authentication for making sure that your data is kept safe and secure. So when fraud occurs, because it's not if fraud occurs, it happens more often than you realize. A lot of people don't think that they're going to become victims. Unraveling it can be overwhelming and costly, as I've mentioned, but we have a full service remediation team ready to assist you throughout the entire process. And we go the extra mile, excuse me, to resolve your case and restore your identity. We want to save you time. We want to save you money. And above all, we want to save you stress. All of our privacy experts reside in our corporate headquarters in Arizona. And I would also like to highlight the fact that we accept all pre-existing conditions as well. So if you were a victim of identity theft prior to enrolling in Allstate Identity Protection, our privacy experts will still assist in remediating that case, so you don't have to worry about that. It's also important to note that the privacy expert that you work with will be your one point of contact throughout the entire remediation case. So when you call in and everything is stressful because you're worried about, someone stealing your identity or your information, this person will be your limited power of attorney, and they'll be able to make phone calls and send emails on your behalf and take care of everything. Now, for your plan that's available to you, I wanted to give you a highlight or like a little bit of an overview of the cyber coverage. On this page, you'll see the many features that are included with your plan. And as you can see, and as I've mentioned, it's way more than just monitoring your social security number or your credit. Actually, this extends to a second page that I'll show you in one second, because there are so many features that are available with your plan. And we're going to talk a bit about these a little bit more in depth as I go through the portal. Now, one of my favorite parts of this plan that I like to remind everyone about is that enrolling in the family plan is really, really important. Even if you don't have a dependent or a spouse, you're probably typically thinking, oh, I'll just take individual coverage and just cover myself. But as I mentioned earlier, we have that generous definition of family using under roof, under wallet as our guideline. So dependents at any age who live within your household or who are supported financially by you are eligible to enroll. So the niece that you're taking care of who lives with you, or the 26-year-old son that isn't quite on his feet yet, maybe, is still considered your family member. They don't age out and they can be part of your plan. Also, the parents, in-laws, and grandparents over 65, regardless of where they live and if they receive any financial support from you, they can also be enrolled. Again, the seniors is so important because they did not grow up in this technology time. They don't understand usually why it's so important to be covered and to be protected. So you adding them into your family plan will help make sure that they stay proactively protected. All right, so let's get started with our portal walkthrough, but I want to talk a little bit about what happens when you do enroll. So once you've enrolled, to get started, all new subscribers will receive an activation or a welcome email. And this is emailed and mailed to participants with the member ID. Now that is a very, very specific number just for you, and you will log into your portal with that. Our welcome email will provide the member ID and a link and steps to easily log into your portal and kind of figure out what to do next. Once you have elected either individual or family coverage, you will be automatically covered with the remediation and insurances prior to the portal activation. Credit monitoring, expense reimbursement, some dark web monitoring, high transaction alerts. All of these things are automatically enabled upon initial enrollment because of the information that we've been provided for you. That said, there are times where you need to take a few additional steps to activate certain features. Things like dark web monitoring to add to credentials, things like financial threshold monitoring, adding your banking information, Allstate digital footprint, adding your email address, social media monitoring, logging into Facebook, things like that. But
before we go on, can we answer this one question that's in the Q&A? We have someone asking, can you confirm, my mother who is over 65 and does not live with me, and I do not support her financially, is covered with my family plan?
Yes. So with the family definition, seniors over 65 do not need to live with you and do not need to be financially supported by you. So your parents, grandparents, and in-laws can all be included in your family plan, and they do not have to live with you or be covered by you financially.
Excellent. Thank you.
No problem. I am going to probably leave more questions just towards the end so that I can make sure to get to everybody and get through some of the information. Also, I will probably go over this a couple of times. So I just want to let you guys know I will answer your questions. But the biggest thing is I know a lot of people will have those questions. So thank you for asking that question because that one comes up every single time. I know the extended family is something that a lot of people don't think of. I do want to just kind of stop on that one. Extended family is something that a lot of people don't typically think of, which is why I bring it up. So anyone who lives with you, a lot of times people will say, oh, well, that's not my child, but I financially support my neighbor and her daughter. That happens. You have more people probably in your family than you realize. So we want to make sure that they are all covered. So anyone who is financially supported by the primary or who lives with the primary is considered a family member. And then seniors over 65 not having to live with and not having to be financially supported are also considered family members. So it is really a robust offering as far as family members. And so a lot of times people will forget, if they don't have a spouse or dependent, that there are probably people that are considered family to us. They're just not passed on your medical file. So yeah, definitely a really, really great expanded feature there. Thank you so much for asking that. So when you guys get your welcome email with that member ID, you're going to create a username and password. And like I said before, you guys will have 2FA or two-factor authentication. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that because you are seeing it more and more with websites, making sure that it is secure for you to log in. So you'll get a text or an email or a phone call with that login code, but that will happen every time to add that extra layer of authentication when you log in. Once you've gotten into the portal, you'll see the portal dashboard, which is a preview here on the right. This is where you will view your digital footprint at a glance, and the menu of features on the left is going to be where you can get to all of your features. You can view and take action on alerts, and when you click on an alert, you will be able to view additional details and let us know if that activity was you or was not you. If the alert was not you, that information is actually sent back to us, and one of our privacy experts will reach out to you directly to assist with resolving the issue. I will say a lot of times people will look at the alert and they won't recognize the name of the company that is part of the alert, and they might say, this is not me. Once we call them and we discuss it and we look into it a little bit, sometimes, and it happens quite a bit, we'll find out that that actually was them. It was all good. They just didn't recognize the bank name. But honestly, it's better to be safe than sorry. So if you don't recognize activity, we recommend that you click not me if that is not for sure you. And then we can always discuss it once we call you. Now, on the top left of this screenshot, you'll see what we call our identity health score. And what we've done to get this score is we've taken the demographic and the behavioral information that we're aware of within your profile, and then we combine it with the identity theft statistics to come up with the likelihood that you could become a victim. I always like to remind people that just because you're low risk and you've got that green light doesn't mean you're never going to become a victim. But at the same time, on the other side, if you are in the red and exposed, it doesn't mean you're automatically going to become a victim, but it is more of a chance. So we want to get you back to that low risk green light. The first feature that we always recommend activating is credit monitoring. In the portal, you'll have access to your daily credit score and report from TransUnion, your annual Tri-Bureau credit score and report, notifications from detected activity, as well as access to place a credit lock and credit report disputes from directly within your portal. I also want to note that accessing your credit reports is a soft pull. It does not have a negative impact on your credit score. We really do, like I said before, we recommend reviewing all of your information to ensure that you recognize everything. So if you don't recognize something on your credit report, make sure to give us a call and we'll assist you and point you in the right direction for that information. As I've mentioned, as we've gone through this, we are constantly monitoring the dark web. So entering your information here is 100% up to you what you want us to monitor, but you can add things like your email addresses, your driver's license number, your credit cards, and more, and we'll alert you should any of this data be compromised. With financial transaction monitoring, I love this feature because you can add financial accounts that you want monitored all in one place, rather than having to log into each individual institution just to see their one account. You'll also be able to adjust the thresholds for each account to alert you depending on the one you set. So for example, I have an HSA account, but I have that thing in a fireproof lockbox. I don't touch my HSA card. So I have my my threshold level set to $2. So any amount spent, really, it's going to alert me because I know that that's not me using that card. Obviously, that's a little bit more on the crazy side. So you can set whatever threshold level you want for your cards. This especially works well for parents with teenagers, maybe that have their first credit card and you want to monitor that account. You can do that through this account as well. You can also set alerts to be notified if your credit card is about to hit its limit, or maybe if a checking account is at a low balance. With the Allstate digital footprint, you can find out how your information is being used. You can send requests to help take back control of your personal data. You can learn if your personal data may have been breached, and you can unsubscribe from unwanted marketing emails. I will tell you, I just got an email a couple days ago from Payless Shoes. It was an ad email, but Payless went out of business. So it made me realize that whoever bought Payless bought the data that they had, and someone now has my email address. So it makes me wonder, who else has my access to my information? So unsubscribing from unwanted emails makes sure that they no longer have access to your email address. Now, social media, as you guys know, is where everybody adds a ton of their information. Sometimes they add information that they shouldn't, and they don't even realize it, and it makes them a target for takeover. So our account takeover monitoring is the reputational monitoring tool that can look at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. It provides actionable alerts that will help defend you and your family from hacks, from reputational damage, and or cyberbullying. Monitoring includes alerts for malware, phishing, and spam links, or links from sites that are connected to illegal activity. One additional feature that you guys also have access to is our sex offender alerting. This is a special feature because you can actually turn it on or off. So if it's something that you do are interested in our portal, you would just toggle it on, and it will send you notifications in the portal to receive monthly, I believe, alerts. And also, if a sex offender is found in your zip code, it will send you an alert. But if you don't want to use that feature, you can toggle it off. So as I mentioned earlier, within your portal, you have insight into your identity health status, but you'll also receive a monthly status email to see a snapshot of your overall identity health. And you can improve it with the focused tips and expert advice that we send as part of those emails. You'll also see how many alerts that you have yet to clear. I will be honest, many people use this as a monthly check-in on their account. We still, however, recommend logging into your portal and looking at it and utilizing the features that are in your portal. But this is a good substitute every now and then. Like I said, it gives you a quick highlight, an overview about your plan, how many alerts you still have, and what your health status is. So I talked a lot about how elder fraud is kind of on the rise, and it is a big deal. So an exciting feature that we have at Allstate Identity Protection is our Elder Fraud Care Center. And this is available to all employees, not only those enrolled. So everybody at Pinellas County has access to it. You will have access to a bunch of different resources, and these are built specifically for seniors, but also their families and their caretakers, so that they can easily understand and protect themselves against scams or threats. We've made this site very useful and friendly for all ages, and we want to ensure that seniors are taking the care that they need when they're spending time not only online, but out in the world, since they are still a prime target for fraud. Our family digital safety tools that are powered by Bark. These protect your children's online lives by monitoring over 30 of the most popular apps and social media platforms, including direct messages and communications. Now, this feature is great for children of all ages, or people with children of all ages, because it offers features like web filtering, screen time management, the parental monitoring, and location tracking. A few other features that we have, like robocall blocker, which I use constantly because someone sold my number many, many years ago, and I get about 30 calls a day. It is absolutely insane. So robocall blocker intercepts scams and telemarketing calls, and it is absolutely an amazing feature. With ad blocker, you can set up automated blocking for unwanted advertisements and prevent data gathering by online trackers. I don't know if anyone has ever experienced this, but I was going to buy a rug on Wayfair, and within 30 seconds of clicking from Wayfair and just doing one search over to social media, I had 3 ads with the stuff that I was looking at on wayfair.com. So that's data gathering by the online trackers. That's what that is. And it's giving that data over to social media. And I do not want it to do that. I don't want it to know where I'm going online. So the ad blocker is really important for that. Now, with your cyber coverage, not only do we have the main features, but we also have the great cyber features. So we have a variety of things to offer, things like antivirus protection, safe browsing and phishing protection, web filtering, webcam protection, firewalls, a VPN, password manager, and our network security feature, which helps you protect your home Wi-Fi network and the devices that are connected to it, such as like personal computers, your tablets, your home devices, your smartphones, etc. Now, mobile device protection is also a must. And with the mobile device protection, you can add 5 devices if you're enrolled in an individual plan and up to 10 devices if you're enrolled in the family plan. So you'll get mobile device and app security alerts that alert you to potential malware or viruses, spyware, etc. Wi-Fi network scan and alerts where you can check the health of your Wi-Fi networks and connect it to your personal mobile devices, mobile safe browsing and phishing protection, and mobile device locator and theft alerts. This allows you to track a lost or stolen device, and it remotely locks your device, sounds an alarm, and can also post a custom message for the thief. Or sadly, if you think you're never going to get that device back, you can also erase your data. Now, to set up all of these tools, you would click the link within your portal. So you do need to log into your portal. Then you'll be directed through the app to download and activate the whole process. It's very simple and easy to understand, but then you'll be able to manage your tools on their chosen devices. All right, so this concludes the portal and the feature walkthrough. I want to wrap up with some tips on how to get the most out of your membership, and then we'll take some more questions. So I know I've talked a lot about all of the features and all of the things that you get with this, all of the, great features that you get with this plan, but we really highly recommend when you log into your portal to activate your credit monitoring so you get fully authenticated alerts, adding your family members if you're on the family plan and activate their features for them as well. Adding credentials to your dark web monitoring for alerts when things like your emails or your passwords are compromised. Setting up financial account monitoring through your financial transactions, and downloading our app so that you can address alerts from anywhere at any time. All right, so and then I also have added a QR code here at the bottom right. If you cover one and then scan the other, depending on if you have an iPhone or an Android device, but you are more than welcome to scan these QR codes to go directly to our app on the stores. I want to see, are we able to unmute if anyone has questions, or are we sticking with the Q&A feature?
I can unmute people.
Okay. So feel free to answer. We're done with the webinar for the most part, but I want to make sure to answer all of your questions since you have me available. So take advantage. But I will say, if you have additional questions about your coverage or navigating your portal, or if maybe there's something you could be currently enrolled, if there's something more private that you want to discuss, we are available 24/7. So you can call in and speak to one of our privacy experts about anything that you want. All right. So do you recommend placing our phone numbers on the federal do not call list? Does this really work? Yes, I do recommend putting it on the do not call list, because I feel like there's going to be one day where that's actually going to have value if you say I'm on the do not call list. But unfortunately, some scammers and some companies just don't care or pay attention to it. So yes, it does work for the most part. But you absolutely can put it on the do not call list, but then I would also recommend getting the robocall blocker so that it prevents you from even seeing it. How does a person get elder fraud protection without enrolling? So on the Elder Fraud Care Center, you're not going to get elder fraud protection necessarily, like you're not going to get the benefits for free, but you can go and use the Elder Fraud Care Center to educate yourself and the senior that's with you, or living with you, or that you are involved with, and make sure that they are staying educated and aware of what's going on out in the world. So we've made that benefit for free so that you can make sure that you're keeping an eye on things. But I would highly recommend, if you do have seniors in your life that you care for, to sign up for the program. I am not a salesperson. I'm not trying to sell you on this. It's just there are a lot of things going on in the world. The FBI put out an article a couple of weeks ago, and senior fraud has taken an ugly turn. So I really highly recommend. That's actually why we expanded our definition to include seniors without having to live with you, because it is on such a rise, and it is getting really bad. When does this benefit start? So you would sign up during open enrollment, and it would start on January 1st if you were a new employee or new enrollee. And Natalie, can you remind the team when open enrollment is?
Yes, open enrollment starts today. So you can log into Opus and make your election starting today, and it'll go through November 15th.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, happy first day of open enrollment, everybody. But yeah, I know I went through a lot of information, so I always like to kind of remind people, because they're gonna, if they're anything like me, we're gonna get off this meeting and you're gonna walk to get some water and you're gonna go, oh, there was that one question that I wanted to ask. So if anything like that does come up, you can always reach out to your HR team and ask them to reach out if it's something that you need help with. But honestly, just calling our call center and talking with our privacy experts, they are amazing, extremely helpful, very knowledgeable, and they can definitely help you with that as well. Can you confirm for everybody on the call today that that there's collateral for them to read about the features that are available for their plan and where to find that?
Yes, everything is on the HR website. If you go to pinellas.gov/HR, we have an A to Z index. You can hit A for Allstate identity or V for voluntary benefits, and it'll take you to the specific webpage where you can read all about our plans.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's, I like I said, I'm, I get off my webinars and then I go, oh man, I did have a question and I wish I could go read up about it, and then I forget where to go or didn't ask. So I always like to make sure that everybody knows where to go and be able to read up on this. And this is also being recorded, so you can go back and look through the recording if you want to, once this is available.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. If there are no other questions, okay. If there are no other questions, I really want to say thank you to everybody who took the time to join this webinar today. I hope you found it helpful. I'm going to leave this screen up for a second, and this has our phone number and our website on it. So feel free to jot that down. And if everybody is good to go, I will let you have these 15-20 minutes back, and happy November 1st and open enrollment.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you.